All right, geometry class. This is our section 8.1 lesson. Many things we already have learned with the activity that we did in class. You'll see that as we go through this. But our objective is to find angle measures of polygons. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm just reminding you, this is the type of activity that we did in class where we drew diagonals in our polygons. And we would see that, okay, this diagonal right here separates my polygon into two separate triangles. So number of sides of the triangle and the number of number of sides of a polygon, and then the number of triangles that we have within the polygon, there's two. And then we figured out the sum of the measures of interior angles for this right here. Well, we have two triangles, so two shapes that are both 180 degrees. So 2 times 180, we get 360 degrees. And we did that again with a pentagon. And we see that, well, a pentagon separated with its diagonals drawn in like this is being separated out into three triangles. So 5 sides, 3 triangles, which means 3 times 180, we get 540. And so we noticed in class that we have a pattern forming here. If we have 4 sides, there's going to be 2 triangles. 5 sides, 3 triangles. 6 sides, that we keep going down by 2, so 4 triangles. 7, we go down to 5, 8, goes down to 6. And then multiply each of these values by 180, and you will have the sum of all the interior angles of a convex polygon. Okay, so let's move forward. Okay, so this is the theorem that is stated in your book. It's called the Polygon Interior Angles Theorem. And it states the sum of the measures of the interior angles of a convex n-gon is n minus 2 times 180 degrees. And that's how you find the sum total of your angle measures inside a polygon. So this is just the statement here. Measurement of 1, 2, and so on, all the way down to how many ever numbers of angles or sides that you have. And then subtract 2 and multiply it by 180 degrees, and you've got the sum total. Now find the sum of the angle measures in this polygon. It says we have a hexagon here. Hexagon means we have 6 angles and 6 sides. So the n value in this formula is going to be 6. So 6 minus 2 times 180 degrees is equal to, that's going to be 4 times 180, which gives us 720 degrees. That there is the sum of the measures of the interior angles of a hexagon. And this means any hexagon. Doesn't matter if all angles are congruent or not congruent. The only thing about how this theorem works is that it has to be a convex polygon. It cannot be a concave. Remember, concave is something, like that. That is a concave polygon. All of the interior angles all the angles are not within the polygon. They're all lying outside the polygon. Okay. All right. So let's take another look at another example that we may find that matches back to our assignment that we'll do in class. Now, from our theorem that we looked at, the polygon interior angles theorem, we can determine what this example is asking us to do too. It says the sum of the measures of the interior angles of a convex polygon is 2,700 degrees. Classify the polygon by the number of sides. So remember that the number of sides minus 2 times 180 degrees is equal to the sum total of our interior angles. So in this case, our sum total of our interior angles is 2,700 degrees. Now to solve for n, n is the number of sides our polygon is going to have, and that is what we are asked to find, number of sides. So to start us out here, divide both sides by 180 degrees. And on this side of the equation, you're left with n minus 2. And let's see, when you divide 2,700 by 180, you get 15. Okay, now to solve for n, add 2 to both sides, and we get 17. So this polygon, since we do not have any names for anything higher than 12 for a polygon, we're just going to call this a 17-gon, and that would be the classification of our polygon. 17-gon, and this is how you would write it. Okay, there we go. Now I think I have one more example for you on interior angles. So let's take a look at that one. Now we have unknown angle measurements inside a polygon that's given to us, and it's asking us to find the value of x in this diagram. Okay, well, the first thing that you need to do is determine the type of polygon you have by the number of sides we have. So what we have here, so let's count 1, 2, 3, 4. We have a quadrilateral, that's 4 sides. After we figure out how many sides we have, we need to find the sum total of our interior angles, what this quadrilateral is supposed to add up to. Or you can go back to your chart that you have and see that, well, for a quadrilateral, the sum of the measures of the interior angles will add up to 360. Okay, so let's just do the math on this. 4 minus 2 times 180 degrees, whoops, not that line, equals 360 degrees. Now take your 360 and do this with it. We are going to add together all of these angles by doing this. Say 155 plus 115 plus 2x plus x. So there's all of my angles added together, and that is supposed to equal 360 degrees. Okay, now add like terms. So we're going to add together all of this stuff here, and we get 3x plus 270 is equal to 360. Subtract both sides by the 360. Sorry, I meant 270. And this is what we'll get. 3x equals 90. And now divide both sides by that 3, and we get x is equal to 30. And we have found our x value. Now, this particular question just asks us to find the value of x. If we are asked to find the all other angle measurements that are unknown, how you would do that is take your x that you have here, that's equal to 30, plug it back in. So this right here, this angle would just simply be 30 degrees. And this one over here, 2 times x, so 2 times 30, it would end up being 60 degrees. So you found all other angle measurements in your polygon, and that That's in some cases what you may be asked to do in a homework question. Okay, now let's take another look at something to do with our exterior angles of polygons, okay? Again, here is the polygon exterior angles theorem. We looked at this in class also in an activity that we did, and we discovered that the sum of the measures of exterior angles of a convex polygon is equal to 360 degrees. Let's see, where's my cursor? There it is. So here, adding up all the exterior angles, we would get 360 degrees. And how to find unknown exterior angle measurements. Just like in the previous exercise, we are going to add up all the angle measurements that we have here and set it equal to 360. Let's do this. Start with x, add it to 65. I like to just go around counterclockwise, or sorry, clockwise, not counterclockwise. And 112. All of that is equal to 360 degrees. Now let's add up everything. We have x plus 332 equals 360. Now we just need to subtract both sides by the 332, and we get 28. And that there is our x value that was unknown. So now we are to the end of the lesson, and this is your lesson quiz that you need to work on as soon as you're done with this video, and we will go over it in class together. And so we're done. Goodbye, everybody.